Dear students, today I want to discuss NEET 2019 previous year question paper. Before coming to this question paper, you must check the chapter wise weightage and is done in the previous video. So we can go through the question paper through 3 videos. The part 1 is now, so we can go with the first question. When a block of mass capital M is suspended by a long wire of length capital L, the length of the wire becomes L plus L. The elastic potential energy stored in the extended wire is. So, at first we can draw the figure here. A string with a mass, the mass that is given as a capital M. So at first just to think about what are the forces acting on it. The weight, it's weight mg that is acting vertically downward. And here the string is, we have to assume as massless, and hence it is suffered with the tension that is uniform along the string. So it is given the length of the string as L. So because of that weight, the body got that string got an extension. So that extension is labeled here as L. Then we have to find what is the potential energy stored in the extended wire. So the potential energy, you must go the basic equations of properties of solids. The potential energy we can find through the simple relations as half into the stress into strain into volume, or we can equal to the half into the load into extension. And here the load is given as mg, the extension is L, so that may be the answer. So the third option, that is answer. It's a very important concept. So we can move with the second question. A mass small m is attached to a thin wire and whirled in a vertical circle. The wire is most likely to break when. So we can just analyze. So we can give a situation. A mass M is there and is connected to a string having length R and is whirled in a vertical circle. At a particular time, it is with an angular displacement theta. If you just find what are the forces acting on it, the weight mg that is acting vertically downward, the tension is acting along the radius towards the center. That mg can be split into two components. It becomes theta. Therefore, this component becomes mg cos theta, and this component becomes mg sin theta. So for the vertical circular motion, the centripetal force that is given by the tension. So we can say m into v square by r, the velocity there at that point equal to the tension there. But it is degraded by that mg cos theta. So the tension at any angle, we can find it is equal to m into v square division by r plus mg cos theta. From this relation, we know when theta varies, the tension varies. So the cosine theta, its value ranges from -1 to +1. So it got the maximum value when theta equal to 0. That means at the lowest point. If we just collect the information, for just looping the loop, for just vertical circular motion, at the lowest point, the minimum velocity needed is nothing but root 5 gr. At that time, the tension becomes 6 mg. So at the lowest point, it becomes 6 mg. And at the point M, it becomes 3 mg. And at the highest point, approximately that is 0. So the tension is maximum at the lowest point, and hence that string will break at the lowest point. And hence we can say the 3 as our answer. The third choice has the chance to break at the lowest point. So it's a good concept. Good concept. We can move to the third question. A good aspect. Ionized hydrogen atoms and alpha particles with the same moment enters perpendicular to a constant magnetic field B. The ratio of their radii of path RH is to R alpha. So, you know about the trajectory of a charged particle in a magnetic field. When theta equal to 0 or on IT, it must move in a straight line path. But at theta equal to 90, a perfect circular path. And hence, the centripetal force there, we can say that M into V square by R, that is supplied by the magnetic force as a QVB sine angle here. It is a perpendicular as a sine 90. So 1V we can cancel. That we can substitute that M into V as the momentum by R equal to QB. So here we want to find what is the radius of the path is equal to P by QB. And here it is given both the particle got the same momentum in the same magnetic field. So that radius proportional to 1 by charge. For the two cases we can write as RH by R alpha is equal to Q alpha division by QH. For alpha particle is the helium nucleus with 2 unit positive charge by for hydrogen, it is 1 unit value. And hence, we get the answer as 2 by 1. So the first choice is the answer. It is a good concept. We can move with the fourth question. Body A of mass 4m moving with a speed u collides with another body B of mass 2m at rest. The collision is head-on and elastic in nature. After the collision, the fraction of energy lost by the colliding body A is. So at first we can just analyze if the U1, U2, the initial velocities before collision. Then after collision it becomes V1, V2. The mass particles are labeled as M1, M2. Then we can write that V1 is nothing but equal to M1 minus M2 by M1 plus M2 into U1 plus 2M2 by M1 plus M2 into U2. And similarly, V2 take the value equal to M2 minus M1 by M1 plus M2 into U2 plus 2M1 by M1 plus M2 into U1. You know, initially the body B is at rest, so that term become cancel, and we can substitute as M1 that got the value as 4m, and corresponding velocity U1 as U, and M2 take the value as 2m, as U2 equal to 0. Then we can easily find the value for V1 is equal to 4m minus 2m is equal to 2m division by mass m, can be write as 6m into U. So you get the value as U by 3. By using the same aspect, we can find the value for V2 is equal to as 2 into M1. So it becomes 2 into M1 as 4m division by as 6m into U. That is equal to as 4 by 3 U. And you have to find what is the percentage change after the collision, the fraction of energy loss. So we can at first find what is the initial kinetic energy with the A particle. So that is equal to half into its mass, you know, as 4m into its velocity as U square. So equal to 2em into U square. Similarly, what is the after? After the collision, a kinetic energy F for the particle A is equal to half into its mass as 4m into its velocity, that is given as is equal to 4 by 3. So that is given as, that is equal to that is nothing but U by 3. So we can substitute as U square division by 9. So 2m U square by 9. Then our aim is to find what is the fraction of kinetic energy. So delta K by Ke initial, that is equal to Ke initial minus final by Ki for A particle, that is equal to 2em U square minus 2m U square by 9 by 2m U square. That is equal to, you can cancel that to 2m A square. So 1 minus 1 by 9. So that is equal to 9 minus 1 as 8 by 9. So you get the answer as the second choice. That is a good aspect. A good aspect. We can move it to the next question. Number 5. In a double slit experiment, when light of wavelength 400 nanometer was used, the angular width of the first minima formed on a screen placed 1 meter away was found to be 0.2 degree. What will be the angular width of the first minima if the entire experimental apparatus is immersed in water? So at first you go through the initial setup. So we can draw the figure. The two slits got a separation. See, that is screen at a capital D. There it is separation as D, the width slits. So here, you know, the intensity variation is similar. So this angle, that is the angular width of the central first minima from the center maxima. So there we can say that is a theta that is equal to lambda by D or equal to beta by D. But we know the concept there, and theta is proportional to beta. The beta is lambda capital D by small d. So there we know the theta is proportional to beta. For the second case in water, it should be proportional to beta in water. But we know that beta in water is beta in air division by the refractive index. So that is a very important concept. So that is nothing but equal to theta by mu. So what is the theta value here? So that is equal to 0.2 degree. That division by 4 by 3. So you get the answer as equal to 0.15 degree. So the choice number 2 as the answer. So NEET 2090, if you just know the preliminary aspects in clear, you can get the answer as so clearly. It is a good concept. So we can go with the sixth question. A simple question. In which of the following devices the eddy current effect is not used? The induction furnace, the magnetic braking in train, the electromagnets. In all the three, the responsible one is eddy current. But electric heat, it is based on what? The Joule's heating effect. Joule's heating effects, I square RD. And hence the electric heater, the fourth one is the answer for the question. So the seventh question, a good question. A soap bubble having radius 1 millimeter is blown from a detergent solution having a surface tension of 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 2. So the surface tension is given as 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 2. And its radius is given as R equal to 1 millimeter. The pressure inside the bubble equals at a point Z0 below the free surface of water in a container. The pressure inside the bubble, the excess pressure, we know it is nothing but equal to as a 4T division 4 sigma, that division by R, where sigma is the surface tension. So we can say the change in pressure. So the pressure inside minus the pressure outside is 4 sigma by R. So the pressure inside is nothing but equal to 4 sigma by R plus P0. But it is given is equal to, at a point Z0 below the free surface of water, we can say that as atmospheric pressure plus Z0 height, the density of water into G. So our aim is to find what is Z0. So to find that Z0, we can write is equal to 4 sigma by R rho W into G. So that is equal to as a 4 into the sigma as a 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 2 by the radius as 1 millimeter. The density of water as 10 raised to 3 into 10. That is equal to That is equal to, if you just multiply and divide, you get the answer as a 10 raised to minus 2 meter or equal to 1 centimeter. Look the steps carefully. It's a good concept, a good concept. We can move with the next question, a simple question. Which color of the light has the longest wavelength? You just go through the concept as VIBGR. And there it is of the order of increasing wavelength, decreasing energy, the decreasing frequency. So here the red got the maximum wavelength. So we can say 1 as the answer. Number 9, a good aspect. A disc of radius 2 meter and mass 100 kilogram rolls on a horizontal floor. Its center of mass has a speed of 20 centimeter per second. So 20 centimeter per second, 0.2 meter per second. How much work is needed to stop it? So we can say the work done is nothing but the change in kinetic energy. So what is the kinetic energy for a rolling body? The kinetic energy, so that is the work done. So that is nothing but it includes the linear kinetic energy plus the kinetic energy of rotation. So we can write as is equal to half m into v square plus half I omega square. So in terms of v, we can convert that I, that is equal to em into k square, and v is equal to r omega. So equal to half em v square plus half em into k square, the k the radius of gyration. So omega is equal to as v square division by r square. So we get the value as half m v square into 1 plus k square division by r square. For a disk, m into k square is nothing but equal to m into r square division by 2. So the k square by r square, take the value as 1 by 2. And you can just substitute is equal to half into the mass as 100 into the velocity 0.2 square. So 4 into 10 raised to minus 2 into 1 plus 1 by 2. So equal to as a 2 into 2 plus 1 as a 3 by 2. So that is equal to 3 joule. So you can code the answer as the first one. So it is a very good concept, a good equation. We can move to the question number 10. The displacement of a particle executing simple harmonic motion is given by y equal to a0, a sin omega t plus b cos omega t, then the amplitude of its oscillation. So oscillation. So oscillation is happened only this figure. So we can say that y dash take the value as y minus a0 equal to a sin omega t plus b cos omega t. And we can just convert into the same format that cos omega t can be write as sin omega t plus pi by 2. So here the two waves are with a phase difference of pi by 2. So the resultant amplitude is equal to root of, it is simple, as a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta cos 90. It becomes 0. So you get the answer as a root a square plus b square. The oscillation got the resultant amplitude of t. So not include this a0. It never oscillates. So the answer become 2. And we can move to the question number 11. two similar thin equiconvex lenses of focal length f each are kept coaxially in contact with each other, such that the focal length of the combination is f1. So at first we can draw that figure, a good aspect. So one focal length is say f and another one as f. So here in between A, the resultant focal length as 1 by f1 is nothing but equal to, 1 by f plus 1 by f. So that is equal to 2 by f. Good. When the space between the two lenses is filled with the glycerin, which has the same refractive index as 1.5 as that of the glass. So that means, so the two equiconvex lenses got the same focal length f, but here it is filled with glycerin. So in place of A, and it will behave as a concave lens. So here the one lens, then one concave lens, plus again one lens. So 1 by f to take the value equal to 1 by f plus minus 1 by f for the concave lens plus 1 by f. So here f to take the value as f, and here f1 take the value as f by 2. So we have to find the ratio of f1 by f2. So that is equal to f by 2 by f. So that is equal to 1 by 2. So we can code the answer as 2. A good aspect. The coming entrance, you should go through what happened to the focal length when it is immersed in another medium. Very important concept. Number 12. The increase in temperature of a gas filled in a container would lead to, for a gas, you can say the total energy, the total potential energy got two-part, the one because of the motion and because of the configuration. So here the motion, that is a very important one. So when temperature increases, its motion increases, and hence its kinetic energy increases. So we can quote the answer as a 2. Number 13, a good aspect. An electron is accelerated through a potential difference of 10,000 volt. Its de Broglie wavelength is, you can go with the simple concept as a lambda equal to h by p. We can write that h by p as root 2m into the kinetic energy. That we can convert that kinetic energy as a charge into potential. For the electron, we can reduce it. If you have enough memory, you can write the relation as lambda equal to 12.27 by root v Armstrong, or you can substitute that 6.625 into 10 raised to minus 34 by root of 2 into 9 into 10 raised to minus 31 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 into 10 raised to 4. You get the answer as equal to 12.2 into 10 raised to minus 12. So we can code the answer as a 2. A good question. Then question number 14. A copper rod of 88 centimeter and an aluminum rod of unknown length have their increase in length independent of increase in temperature. The length of the aluminum rod is, that increase in length is L0 into 1 plus alpha delta theta. So here, that change in length is independent of temperature. That means we can write the concept as The increase in length delta L is L0 alpha delta theta. Yes. Then independent, we can write for the two cases as L0 alpha delta theta for that copper rod should equal to L0 alpha delta theta. That is for our aluminium. The change in temperature as independent. Then for L0 copper, alpha copper should equal to for aluminium. So we need to find the length of the aluminium is equal to that for copper into alpha copper by alpha aluminium. So that is equal to the length is given as 88 centimeter into alpha as 1.7 into 10 raised to minus 5 by 2.2 into 10 raised to minus 5. So equal to 68 centimeter. So 4 as the answer. For the video, the last question as 15. Then we can wait for the part 2 and 3. The 15th question, pick out the wrong answer with the rainbow. A good simple concept. And you should know what is the differences between primary rainbow and the secondary rainbow. And keep in mind the concept, the innermost one is the violet for primary, but for the secondary, the innermost one is the red one. And keep in mind it is more bright, but the secondary is fainter. And here another very important concept, the primary rainbow is due to 2 refractions plus 1 total internal reflection. But for secondary, it is 2 refraction plus 2 total internal reflections. And also with respect to the horizontal, that primary rainbow subtends an angle of 42 degree, but the secondary rainbow makes an angle of 52.5 degree. So look the choices. The wrong concept we have to give. When the light rays undergo 2 internal reflections in a water drop, a secondary rainbow is formed. The order of color is reversed in the secondary rainbow. An observer can see a rainbow when his front is towards the sun. So that is a wrong concept. On back, that is a concept. So the 3 is the answer. So the fourth choice, the rainbow is a combined effect of dispersion, refraction and reflection. So that is fine, good. The 3 is the answer. So we can wait for the next video for the discussion from 16 to question number 30. Thank you.